another episode of World 1-1 Podcast.
Choose your fighter!
I am your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me is Josh the LaGrew.
Hello.
Eddie is on detail doing inventory. He's cataloging all of our video game collections for us this week, and Dylan is still on assignment in the Dells. But in the meantime, let's jump right into the nuts and bolts.
Oh my gosh!
Video games. Josh, the fuck have you been playing?
Well, not playing as much as I would like to. I'll tell you that much for sure.
Story of our lives.
Yeah, I know, right? It sucks being an adult. You know, if anybody would have told me it was going to be like this, I don't think I would have grown up.
Overrated.
Yep. And so I've dabbled a little more in Dragalia Lost for about another 45 minutes. I'm telling you, I put about 20 hours into that thing now.
Woo!
Haven't paid one dime.
Really?
Yeah, there's a countdown for stamina, but I never play long enough to hit the actual 0 stamina, so it always is refilled by the time I get back into the game.
Okay.
And I don't really care for any of the, cosmetic stuff. I'm just like, I'll just play, so I'm not really a big into that kind of stuff. I don't really get it, why people buy cosmetic stuff. I mean, you want it to look cool, but it's nothing you can, do anything with. So I don't really feel the need to purchase anything yet there.
But you don't feel like you're getting your progress stonewalled by a paywall?
Not at all. No, the actual story mode is really good, and it's for a JRPG. It's basically a J action RPG. I mean, it's really good. It's got a lot of nuance, a lot of detail. They flesh out a lot of story that I was really not. To be honest, I was not really anticipating it to be like a AAA quality game on mobile, and it really is good. It's really fun. My wife even she watches me play sometime on my iPad, so it's pretty cool. Other than that, I bought Dark Souls for the Switch. I have not put it in yet, and I bought Dead Cells for the Switch. I have not put it in. I know. I had a day off, but I was doing some other stuff and a few things here and there. I didn't get anything done. I turned on my Xbox One this week just to watch YouTube videos. So that's about it right now. I mean, Dragalia Lost is the only thing I really dabbled in. I've got some more. I bought some new. I got some finds at a thrift shop for some PC games that I found. Other than that, so I got a couple late era Sierra games. They're on my shelf. I have every Sierra game made, but I didn't have these two, and they're in the big box. And they're complete inbox. They're complete inbox actually. One of them was still sealed. I found Pharaoh and Return to Krondor, and I actually found a sealed copy of Outpost too. I had Outpost. I actually have Outpost, and I have Outpost 2. But I opened them and played them and everything. But the sealed copy of Outpost, I looked at it online just to see how much it was worth. It's like $10-15. I mean, I might do an unboxing of that. Maybe it's kind of fun to do something like that because it is still sealed. I can't really remember what was in there when I got it back in 96 or 95.
Yeah.
When I came out. So I got those, and I found a Game Gear game, and I'm not really I can't remember the name of it right now. It's in my closet. I can't go get it, but it was sealed. It was a crappy poker game, I think, but it was sealed. It was only $2, so I picked it up.
There you go.
Yeah, and I don't even have a Game Gear, so there you go.
I used to have a Game Gear that had the actual TV antenna adapter thing with it.
Right. Yeah, and you can get them now, but a lot of times they need to be retrofitted. They have they have a transistor and a cap problem that usually the caps have started leaking. There's 15 caps that you can replace yourself with a little soldering and stuff like that, but I haven't actually found one for a reasonable price that I'm willing to pay. I'm not going to pay $100 for one, not at this point anyway, especially when I could get a Retron 5 and I could play all those games on there anyway.
Exactly.
So and that's another pickup I've been meaning to get, but I haven't got. So other than that, I'm not really playing anything other than Dragalia Lost. I know it's sad. But
it is.
How about you?
see, what have I been playing? I dinked around actually with the Long Reach just a little bit. It's old school point and click story based game, at least in the style of. I'm not sure that I'm sold on it yet. The only reason I have it is because it was stupid cheap on sale at one point. But I did dink with it a little bit just to see what I thought, and
Sure.
I'm not over the moon with it by any means, but it could pick up. I just need to see about putting some more time into it. Couple runs through Dead Cells just to pass the time, in what little time I had.
Right.
Was really hoping to sit down with Super Mario RPG a little more for book club this month,
Yeah,
but
I was too.
I feel terrible because I have just not had the opportunity. But it's something that I will probably get to play a little bit of this weekend, just to at least dip my toes in that pool. But unfortunately, it probably won't be anything more than that. So other than that, I spent most of my free time over the last week, honestly, just trying to clean the house, including redoing my collection of Switch games. We were talking just before we started recording, and my stack of Switch games was getting too tall for my shelf, so I had to move everything over to my computer desk and split my my standard editions and my special editions all apart in order to make everything fit, so that it didn't start collapsing the boxes of my special editions. But it made me sad though, because I'm looking at them all going, I have all these games and I don't ever get to play them now. Damn it!
Right.
Like, I realized, I'm like, oh fuck, I've still got a copy of Okami I haven't even taken out of the shrink wrap yet. Like,
yeah,
God,
I got
it's
games
horrible.
like that too.
So I at least took it out of the shrink wrap and kind of looked at it because it's an import copy.
Sure.
It was the first. Well, it's not the first import I've done for my Switch, but it was the first Japanese import I've done for my Switch. So, but other than that, that was most of what I've gotten to play. But with that said, we're probably going to keep it a little short tonight, but we're going to go in and go ahead and do part 2 of the deep dive that we started last week. So that means this is where we stop for a minute and we say break, and we're back. So this week we're going to do the second part of the deep dive conversation that we started last week, as a matter of fact. And this week we're looking at great games that we just don't love. By all rights, we should. They're phenomenal games, and they just never hit home with us. So I'm going to kick it over to Josh first, and I want to hear what's one of the ones that's on your list there that just never hit home for you like it did the rest of the world.
Sure. I'm gonna talk about this one because it's really topical. Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
I bought Red Dead Redemption when it first came out for my 360. I put that game in. I was expecting just to be blown away by this game. And I put that game in. I played for a few hours. I just could not get into it. So I took it off, put it back in the case, and it's been sitting on my game shelf ever since. I've not put it back in. I just can't get back into it. And I really think that I should try again just to see if it was just me, you know?
Yeah.
But it was just the time I was trying to play it in. It just didn't work out. But I don't know what it is with it. I think it was slow to start, and I know that Rockstar Games takes a few hours to get into anyway, to kind of feel comfortable with it. I just didn't like it. And everybody is telling me I'm crazy, you know. But that was
too,
that was
just
it.
have do you have just a general aversion to sandbox games like the Grand
No.
Theft Auto stuff?
Not really. I mean, here's the thing. I played a few sandbox games that I really, really love. But this one was probably the first one that I actually did try playing because it was a while ago it came out, you know. So it was kind of one of those first type games that was so open you could do whatever you wanted.
Right.
And it might have just been I just didn't really know how to play it, you know, because I'm pretty old school. I like I like retro gaming a lot, which to me is just like not retro gaming, it's gaming, you know?
Right.
But so sandbox games are sometimes difficult for me to get into. I also kind of like pseudo sandbox games more, kind of like, Sleeping Dogs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Where you have a sandbox, but they're still pushing you in the general direction of where you want to go,
Right.
Yeah. So that, for me, that's just what it was. I just did not get into it.
Okay. So I'm going to throw myself back under the bus here because I did this when it came out last year. One that just never hit home for me. Like, I can look at it and I can objectively say, this is a really good game, but for the life of me, I just cannot get into it, was Mario Odyssey.
Really?
Yeah. So, it's been almost a year now, actually.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. Good Lord. No, Mario Odyssey, I picked it up and I started playing it. I'm like, this is adorable and fun and whatnot.
Right.
And then I got about as far as what was it? New Donk City.
New Donk City? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and something after New Donk just made me stop. I'm like, I'm not having fun with this anymore. And I think I realized that while I like platformers, I need my platformers to have something more than just platforming. Right. I think it's a big part of why I love the Metroidvania genre, because I get all my platforming fixed there, plus more of a combat drive.
It's more nuanced, yeah.
Yeah, there's more to it than just, here, get from here to here.
Yeah.
There's more of an element of trying to figure out how to do it.
I actually kind of agree with you on Mario Odyssey, believe it or not. I played that game. I played the whole thing. I liked it. I didn't think it was this groundbreaking experience that everybody was talking about either. Although I enjoyed the game, I enjoyed my time in it. It just seemed like I got that with Mario 64.
Right.
So it just seemed like a more updated version of that to me. Although I did love I really did like when you switched from 3D to 2D.
Yeah. I will say I liked Odyssey better than I did 64. Because 64 was... It felt too messy to me. Like, I liked being able to just wander around and find the moons, whereas 64, when you jumped into the painting, it's like, you can pick which star you're going to try and get, but none of the others were available.
I think what that really honestly was limitations of hardware.
More than likely.
At the time.
It didn't shock me, but...
Yeah.
And I mean, I liked the abundance of moons. Like, you always felt like you were doing something.
Right.
Or, achieving something. But, I was very sad that there weren't more like big boss fights, like the big head with the giant fists.
And the ones that they were kind of, I thought, were kind of sloppy, honestly.
Some of them were. Some of them I had a lot of fun with, and I was really looking forward to more of them. And there just wasn't more of them.
Right. Okay. That's fair.
That let me down a lot. I was just like, nope, I'm done. In the meantime, though, the Steam Gardens music regularly stays in my playlist. I'm going to say you guys would have heard that playing underneath Oh My God Video Games at the beginning of the show, actually, because I love that music and it's just super awesome. It's what I picture in my head the music soundtrack to like a hippie spy movie would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hit me with another. I'm curious.
Okay, so this one's a little different. This is one I played. I bought when it came out. I played it. I did not like it. Put it down. But a few years later, came back and I became one of my favorite gaming franchises of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Mass Effect. Okay. I bought Mass Effect in 2007. I played the first mission. Absolutely hated it. I could not believe people were raving about this game. I thought there was nothing special about it. I think it was maybe the time I was in. I was just in this weird mood. And also I had Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like the same time I got it. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to play more Call of Duty 4. So that to me was the groundbreaking game. So I was like, okay, well, I wanted to change the pace. So I tried this RPG, and I like RPGs, and I just did not like the game. So I put it down, shelved it, and it was 4 years later. I was broke. I didn't have any money and I wanted to play a game. I was looking on my shelf and I said, "Oh, there's Mass Effect. Let me try that again." And I picked it up and I couldn't put it down. And in fact, the second one had just came out, or it had come out a year earlier. And I beat that game. I put like 80 hours into it in 1 week. Beat it. I went and got the second one. Put another like 80 hours the next week into it. And then the third one came out. My best friend sent it to me. He's like, "I guess you like these games." I go, "Yeah, I love them now." But I just clicked with me later, and I don't know. I honestly don't know what it was. It was just I wasn't feeling the systems. Everything just seemed confusing to me. But I liked it, and now I love it. Now I love Mass Effect, but I did not play Andromeda, and I don't really have an inkling to play it.
Yeah, I can't blame you. From everything that was said, it was not good. And I'm actually in the same boat with you. I tried Mass Effect, and it just didn't sit with me.
It really is slow to begin with, and
not just that, but the controls felt awful in the first one too.
Especially with when you're
who makes a control layout like this?
I know, and then when you're controlling the Mako, it's really terrible. I would think that game would benefit from a total remaster if they would do that, just to get the control scheme right for everything.
Yeah. Like I couldn't bring myself to even try and power through it. Nope, this isn't happening.
Right. So that's how I was when I first put it in. But then I said, 4 years later, now I'd play those. I think more of it was I love the experience of playing it for the first time again. I don't think I could go back and play it again, really, and have that level of love for it.
Yeah.
But, it was just the kind of it's almost like when you first played Mario, when you're a kid or whatever. It's that special kind of thing. It was just it just clicked with me.
The joy of discovery.
Yeah. And the first time though, it didn't, and it was boring. And I was like, I have no idea. I almost traded that game into GameStop too, because I don't trade games into GameStop. I just save, and I almost said, I want something else for it. And then I just said, nah, and threw it on the shelf. So I was glad I did, in the past, for that, but.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw one out, and this one, much like Mass Effect, has gone on to tremendous success. And what kills me is I love the idea of the story, but man, for the life of me, the game just never hit home. Was the Assassin's Creed series?
Right.
Nothing in there, gameplay-wise, ever clicked for me.
Yeah, that's me too. So.
Which seems stupid because I like the whole parkour thing.
Right.
I adore Mirror's Edge.
Okay.
I put way too much time into Mirror's Edge.
I think a lot of us did, yeah.
Well, not just that. I put enough time in that I actually pulled off the pacifist achievement.
Oh,
I got through the whole game without shooting anybody.
Cool.
So I was super proud of that. But Assassin's Creed, for the life of me, just didn't hit it. And I don't know what it was. It should have, by all rights. And I tried so hard to love it and just wished that I could. I'm like, everything about this should be really cool. And I think part of it, honestly, might just be the fact that I was more interested in the meta story involving
the real world thing, the anime, Animus, and how they're getting the memories and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's super fucking cool to me.
It's a great freaking concept. I think it's just a great concept, but it's now, especially now, it's led up. I mean, I haven't played any of the newer ones at all, but it's just they kind of just let that whole part of it go.
Yeah, that was just kind of the loose thread to tie it all together rather than the big important thing. And I think I got more out of just reading the Wikipedia about it than I ever did the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you will, yeah.
Which is what I ended up doing, truth be told. But I'm like, that's really fucking cool. I'd watch a movie of that. That'd be awesome.
Now, did you see the actual movie that they made?
I didn't.
Okay.
And
I know people say it's hot garbage, but for me, just to take those kind of movies, I just take them as what they are. They're just, it's a it's a escapist experience, and if you
Yeah.
like look at it like that, it's actually not bad. I mean, it's obviously it's far-fetched and not going to happen, but they've got that real world element that you're looking for
Right.
in that movie. You'd probably like that movie a lot because it is like about the real world.
I may have to pick that up then. But...
Yeah, just or rent it or see it on cable or something. I mean,
Yeah.
because it is a decent. I thought it was a decent movie anyway. I mean, I know my wife. She comes in when I'm watching stuff like this. She's like, "What the hell is this?" And she walks back out. And then I do the same thing with her in horror movies. I just don't like horror movies. It's not the blood or gore or anything. It's just, I just I'm like I don't see the point.
It doesn't click.
You're right.
There's no intellectual stimulation.
Yeah. So I'm thinking you might actually like that movie, which
I might.
Yeah.
But I have no problem separating it out from, it's not canonical. Like,
right.
I was talking with Todd and Charlie on Secret Friends Unite a couple weeks ago, and we were discussing the Silent Hill movie. And I really liked the Silent Hill movie.
Yeah, I did too.
I had a ton of fun with it. And, one of the other ones that from a few years back that the book was and still is near and dear to me. But the movie kind of scooped a ton out in order to make it fit into just a couple hours, was Ender's Game.
Yes.
And I figured out, I'm like, I know how to work this. I know how to make this work. There's two ways to look at it. You can either look at it as a very hollow shell of the source material, or alternatively, you can look at it as a visual supplement to the book.
Right.
And if you look at it as a visual supplement to the book, it works great because you get a chance to see all the visually spectacular stuff that Card wrote about in the books and go, that's really fucking neat. And it works great in that way. But by itself as a movie, it just, from time constraints, it cuts out too much essential material to where the critical events don't have the emotional impact that they should.
Right. You're not invested in it.
Right.
As much.
And that's excuse me. And that's a big deal, So no, the Assassin, I might have to see if I've got that on Vudu tonight actually and put that on. We'll see if it's any good. And it might scratch the itch that I'm looking for. Because I really like that kind of thing. And just the
like I said, I just take it like it's just what it is. It's a movie.
Yeah.
It's like if you can just kind of do that, I think you'd enjoy it.
Right, and the fact that I don't have any real investment in the series, I think helps that fact.
I think that helped me too, because I played the first Assassin's Creed a little bit, played 2, and I actually liked 2 a lot, but I haven't played any other one. I put Black Flag in for I think it was free games with gold at one time, and so I put that in, and I got like an hour in, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And
right.
I don't know if I don't know why that game doesn't click with me either. It just doesn't. And I like those kind of games usually, but it's just that whole series. I'm just like, okay. And this new one, what is it? Origins or
Odyssey?
Is it Odyssey?
Yep.
Looks really good. But I don't know if I want to spend. I mean, I don't know if I want to spend any more time in an ancient civilization. I did that with Rise, and I loved it. But I don't know if I would, go back and play another one.
Right. I mean, honestly, anymore, gaming-wise, the only thing that I've got any interest in that takes place around Greek mythology is God of War.
Yeah.
I mean, for my money, I don't think anybody has really delved into Greek mythology in a way that I enjoyed any more than God of War told that story. Because, it was just so good.
Now, are we talking about the new one or the old ones?
1, 2, and 3, the ones that were actually rooted in Greece. Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you play any of the PSP ones, or when they ported them over to PS3? Did you play any of those?
No, I actually. You're gonna look at me stupid in a minute here, but I actually haven't bought a Sony system since the PS2.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
I mean, I got my PS3 honestly only because it was super on sale when I bought it. I just didn't. I have a I did have a PS4. I sold it, and then I bought a PS4 Pro, and that thing crapped out on me, and it's actually getting fixed right now. But I don't play it nearly as much as my Xbox, and I know that's like a sacrilegious thing to say nowadays. But my Switch and my Xbox are like my two systems right now.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. And my Xbox honestly doesn't even get as much love as it should.
Right.
My Switch really kind of formed it out, but
Sure.
I still make a point to boot it up and play some stuff once in a while. Even if it's just some of my old 360 stuff that I like to play. I've still got a lot of 360 games that are big go-tos for me. Split Second, the Left 4 Dead games, the Portal games. Those are all ones that are
they're fun.
Just jump back into. There's a couple on Xbox One that I will always happily go back to. Sunset Overdrive is a lot of stupid fun. The Ori and the Blind Forest, which I cannot wait.
That game's great. I sunk so much time into that. I probably should sink more to get some more of the achievements, but I just like that game. I mean, I don't go into games for achievements anymore. I used to, but
I never did.
No, but I mean, I kind of did. Like, what it was more like, it was just kind of like, wow, how can I get that? It's something for me to do, especially when I didn't have another game to play, or I was really into it. I figured myself, like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it now. If I don't do it now, I'm not gonna go back to it once I stop playing it. Like, I don't think I'd go back to play Ori and the Blind Forest, but I'm really looking forward to the second one.
Yeah, so, I can't wait to see what Milton does with that.
Right, it's gonna be good. I mean, it's gonna be good. So.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Well, Home Slice, that made my favorite game ever, is doing level design, so I just can't argue with that.
Right.
So, but there's a few other odds and ends coming for Xbox One that I'm kind of looking forward to as well. Some of the indie stuff that they showed at E3 this year piqued my interest. The Legend of Zelda looking one with the little pixel fox actually looked kind of adorable.
Oh, what is it? Which one is that? I
can't even think of the name of it. I remember thinking that looks like Zelda with a fox.
Yeah. Isn't that Super's Lucky Tale?
No, that's
one?
something different. No, Super Lucky's Tale came out earlier this year. Bought it for the wife, actually. She really enjoyed it. Super Lucky's Tale isn't the greatest of platformers, but it's not ukulele level problematic either, at least.
Okay.
So, which I feel bad for anybody that's still looking forward to ukulele with hopes. I'm like, I've played it. It just doesn't deliver. It's
really?
Just so no.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, so I'm kind of
don't
even go there, huh?
No. We had a roommate for about 6 months early this year, and he had bought it, and I got to play some of it, and the camera just makes it unplayable, especially in some of the boss fights.
I heard there was a lot of camera problems with that game.
Yeah, It is. Like I said, the camera makes it unfucking playable, and it's a shame. I get that you want to, hold on to that nostalgia feeling of old school 64 platformer collectathons, but man, you should have let the camera problems die.
Yeah, I mean, with the 64, because that was when they were just getting into 3D. That was when that was a big issue back then, and to have those problems now 25 years later is kind of embarrassing, really.
Yeah, they bloody well should be.
So that game, I think that game you're talking about is Tunic.
That's it. That's the one.
It's formerly known as Secret Legend of Zelda Like a Fox. That's what they say.
I believe that, actually.
They said it's a technical combat system with slash, block, dodge, and stagger tactics. So it's supposed to be, like a lot of thinking to it, not just, it's very nuanced. That'll be interesting.
Right. Actually, the other thing it reminded me of, just seeing all the like little cubes stacked up and everything, kind of made me think, this is like Zelda fucked Cuber.
Yeah.
It had a little bit of that look to it. And It's probably not the worst thing either. I'm kind of on board with that. Like,
Yeah, it's
this
just a
looks
release
interesting.
date unconfirmed, so who knows when that's actually coming.
Yeah, Microsoft looks like they've got a solid 2019 coming. So
And
I'm
I don't
I'm
know
happy
how
to see
much
them getting
we're
back
going to
on.
see. I don't know how much we're going to see first party for Microsoft in 2019. To be honest,
I don't even care if it's
I-
first party. Just bring me
Yeah.
stuff to play on my Xbox. For
that's
God's
exactly
sake.
what I'm saying too. Just I got backlog, but I want to play some new stuff too. So
Yeah,
hopefully we'll get a couple of good ones.
I'm sure there's a few coming. At the very least, we got Ori coming in February. So
Yeah, that'll keep me busy for a while. So
I have every intention of taking at least a weekend off for that.
yeah, I always have the intention of taking the weekend off, and then I get they dangle overtime in front of me or something, and I say, well, go in for that.
Oh no, there's no talking me out of it. I'm taking the time off to play Ori all weekend.
Yeah, I might take it off too, just at least a day, just to play.
Oh, definitely, as you should,
I
as
know.
anybody should.
I know. The last time I actually took time off to play a video game, I think was just to play a game. I think was Gears 3.
Woo!
So I got time coming.
That's been a hot minute. I want to say we've got a new Gears coming too. That's another series I just couldn't do. There was no draw to Gears for me. I'm like,
Really?
nah. No. I'm like,
Gears 2. I know everybody hates that, but that was my jam. I played multiplayer on that so long. I got all the achievements in that. I got Seriously 2.0, all that. But
it was like big grunty space marine, not interesting.
yeah, it's
Because
like
that was the other thing too, is I have
throw
no
this,
interest
throw
in
that,
multiplayer anything.
see, multiplayer for me hooked me, and that's what hooked me. And it's a high level of multiplayer in that game. You get owned over and over and over, and it's extremely frustrating
Yeah.
until you get good. And it just really, and I hate to say that, it's like, people always say that, get good, but that's really that multiplayer. And lag mattered a lot. Like the net code was terrible, but I just had a blast. I had a group of people I played with, and so it was like I had one guy from Amsterdam, outside of Amsterdam, and a guy from Germany, and another, and then it was like me, and then like there was always rotating another guy in and out. So we always had the same crew that we played every night with, and that was just awesome, So I love playing Horde and stuff like that. So
I never found a solid group of people to play anything multiplayer with. Between that and I don't think I could now anyways, just because my time is so sporadic anymore.
right,
There were a few multiplayer games that I've played over the years that I put some real time into, but most of them were going to be like Phantasy Star Episode 1 and 2 on GameCube. I actually played that online a fuck ton. The original MapleStory, because I know MapleStory 2 just released, which part of me is, I'm sitting here honestly kind of fighting the urge to download MapleStory 2 and take a look, because I know if I do, I'm going to lose months of my life again.
right.
That was damaging.
Well, yeah, it's as you get older, that stuff is hard to do. I'm finding myself really liking the more self-contained, smaller experiences. So
Yeah.
indie games usually are kind of more where they're at, or games I can take in small chunks, like Hollow Knight, where I could play it for an hour at a time or 25 minutes at a time, and still feel like I did something.
Right. There's reasonable like break points.
Yeah.
You can play a chunk, go, I accomplished this, I made this much progress, and now I'm putting it down.
Right. And something like that was a phenomenon kind of with me with when I think I realized that when I played Final Fantasy VII for the first time, because you couldn't play that for just 45 minutes. You had to play for like 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
Or you couldn't feel like you did anything. So I do appreciate, especially as I'm getting older, that I do appreciate games that do that, because my time is limited, and I'd rather just have this, awesome experience for 8 hours and just be done with it, move on to something else,
Yeah, I've always had an appreciation for well-told stories, and unfortunately, I think that's always been a problem with a lot of RPGs, especially JRPGs, is that, man, the pacing in their stories is awful because so much of that pacing is locked behind grinding.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I don't want
to me, grinding is artificially. It's
just
a bad.
padding.
It means bad level design or bad design.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to grind that much. Part of the reason, like, Destiny was hard for me too. Like,
Right.
I love Destiny. I played the story. I played it for a while. Destiny and Destiny 2. But I'm not gonna put 80 hours into grinding for something.
Right. There's just no call for that shit.
No.
It's unfucking necessary. So, I mean, there's been one or two games that I am willing to like grind through. Legend of Dragoon was one that I happily did, just because again the story was so fucking good. And my God, Sony, give me another one. I'll buy a PS4 for Legend of Dragoon 2.
Yeah.
I will throw money at that immediately if that happens, without question, without fail. But yeah, that's one. I've been watching a little bit of stuff on Undertale because I got my nice big fancy special edition, which we have an awesome unboxing of on the YouTube channel, by the way. So you guys should totally go check that out. We'll put a link to that in the show description. But in any case, I haven't gotten to crack it open yet, and I've been watching a little bit of stuff on it, and I'm kind of going, I'm probably going to do some grinding here, but the story has thoroughly piqued my interest. So I now can blame Game Theory for that, because they've done some really cool stuff on Undertale here recently. So they most recently they did what is the actual power of a human soul in Undertale. It was pretty neat to look at. I love watching his stuff because the ridiculous amounts of math and science that he puts into figuring out dumb shit is awesome.
Right.
It cracks me up to no end. One of the best examples, honestly, is the Portal video, which if you haven't seen, oh my God, watch the Portal video. Because he talks about what would it actually take to make a portal gun work, and it basically boils down to the portal gun is the energy needed to make the portal gun work and the portals themselves work would basically just collapse the entire fucking universe.
Right, and we basically have to invent a new type of physics.
Yeah. He gets into all kinds of like fun quantum physics stuff that's really cool to see. So that's an awesome thing that if you guys have not watched that, you totally should. But at this point, we're kind of rambling. So we'll start to wrap it up. Other than that, minor housekeeping. As always, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. The YouTube channel is coming along finally. We're what, maybe third of the way through getting everything up to snuff, ready for big relaunch.
Yeah, we're approaching the third mark, I think. Hopefully by the end of the week, beginning of next week, I probably will be up to where I would like to say half, but
right.
That may be a little ambitious with scheduling and with Halloween and all that, but we're gonna get there.
With pacing, we could probably just do a schedule it out for January at this point.
Right.
Just take ourselves out of the middle of the holiday insanity with Pokemon and Smash coming too, and all the other.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Call of Duty, whatever the hell we're on now, and so. But yeah, I think January. I think we can officially put it down. We're going to be doing a full relaunch on the YouTube channel in January then. But in the meantime, there is some new content up there. We've got unboxing for the Undertale Collector's Edition from Fangamer, as well as the Starlink Battle for Atlas starter pack for the Switch with the Star Fox R-Wing in it, which is really fucking cool. That game is actually a ton of fun too. I really like the writing, and I am entirely guilty of. I was at the store today, and I had to stop myself from buying another ship and like packs of stuff.
How much are those ships and stuff like that? The extra stuff?
I think a ship and pilot pack together are like $25, if I remember what I was seeing on Amazon.
Okay.
I think the next one I'm going to get is going to be Neptune with the Judge, because I really like the Judge.
So you've been playing Starlink then, right?
A little bit of it, yeah.
Okay.
And I really like it. I like the story. I like the writing. I like the gameplay. I like the voice acting. Everything was surprisingly well done.
Cool.
It's way better than it has any right to be, honestly. It's got a it's almost what No Man's Sky should have been in certain regards.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, instead of, dropping onto planets all over the galaxy, you're locked into like a single star system. And so it keeps it from getting too spread out and too obnoxious. And the other thing too is that because there's a limited amount of planets to play on, nothing is randomly generated, so you don't end up with all the weird, stupid, glitchy creature shit from No Man's Sky. But you get some really cool and unique life forms and creatures and animals on all the different planets, and it's really enjoyable. And it's so simple to just go from hovering around on the ground, because you'll never get out of your ship, but there's basically like ground play mode, and there's like full on flight mode for your ships, and it's literally just hit the shoulder button. That's your difference. You're cruising along and you want to take off and you want to go play around on another planet somewhere, hit that button, you can start launching off that planet and start flying away to another planet. It's super smooth and streamlined and really enjoyable. The upgrade system for the weapons and everything and the pilots on the ships is pretty smooth and pretty respectable as well. I really get a kick out of just like yanking parts off my ship in the middle of the game and sticking them back on in stupid ways just to see what it does in the game.
Yeah, because can't you even like put them on backwards and stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
I can turn my wings backwards, and it won't make the ship fly backwards, but they will show up backwards on my ship in the game. Or like if I'm being chased around in a dogfight, I can turn like my missile launcher backwards and it'll start firing backwards. Yeah,
that's
like
cool.
mid-game. It's awesome. So it's a ton of fun. I genuinely recommend it. That being said, do be on the lookout. There's a big price difference between the getting everything digital versus getting a hard copy with all the toys.
Right.
Because you totally don't need the toys to play this game. You can do everything digitally in the game.
That's what they've
got like an $80 digital deluxe version that comes with everything unlocked, versus spending way more than I should on the toys. But I really like the toys. Like, the pilots actually go in the ships, which is neat. And the ships,
that is cool.
And like on the R-Wing, the little blue thruster on the back actually like lights up, and it even gets brighter when you do like hyperspeed cruising through space. So it pays attention to really cool little details. It's stupidly fun, way more than it has any fucking right to be. So I give it a wholehearted recommendation.
Okay, cool.
But yeah. So that being said, we'll wrap it up there and we'll call it a night, and we'll see everybody back next week here on World 1-1 Podcast.
Peace.
Good night. Peace.